Hey everybody, welcome back to episode number 2 of the Living Masters podcast. My name is Zach Hampson, and today I'm joined by the incredible artist John Fenerov. I hope you guys will enjoy this podcast as much as I enjoyed filming it and talking with John about his life and his art and his passions and what he sees for his future. So I hope you will join me here today, and welcome John Fenerov. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast today, man. I really, really appreciate it. How you been?
Well, thank you for inviting me to this podcast. I really appreciate it, man. Night jumper.
Thanks, man.
And yeah, like any other artist, week has been, tough work, jobs, and all that, the usual stuff.
That's for sure,
But
man.
life is good, great.
That's good, man. That's good to hear.
Yeah.
So John, I just wanted to just talk to you about your philosophies of art, how you got into it, and all that sort of that sort of good stuff, man. Just really interested. Obviously, me and many other people are really stoked on your art, really love your art. So I would love to hear from the creator of such masterpieces talk about his masterpieces, man. John, how'd you get started in art?
Well, you want me to talk about how I started, like from the beginning, or,
Yeah, from the beginning.
specifics?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, there is always that one kid who used to be, a kid who you used to dream like to become an artist,
Yeah.
pick up crayons, do the cave paintings on the walls, and you get punished from the parents. Uh, that was me a lot. But my sister was also creative.
Mm.
She's like 10 years older than me, but she was in high school when I started. So whenever she came from high school, she will give me one of those textbooks that I should not be touching. But yeah, I used to draw on them some stupid monkeys, caricature, kid stuff. Nothing realistic just yet. So, so about when I came into high school, when I enrolled to high school, there was usually high classes like for artists, for advanced artists. So you have drawing class 1 and drawing class number 2, some sections for different students. And I liked a lot, perspective drawing. I wasn't so much into architecture and stuff like that. So I wasn't great still then. I used to be pissed off about when my art teacher used to be mistaken who was correcting me my mistakes, and I used to get a lot of angry. I wanted revenge. So that happened, and I think from there I went into graphic design. Fine art wasn't really my first interest back then because I just focused on graphic design. I graduated, and then I went to university and graphic design. But then we had, minor degree for fine art, illustration, and all on different stuff. And that's right there when I realized I picked the wrong program to study.
Oh yeah.
I should have taken fine art instead of graphic design because over time you realize graphic design is like a sidekick job or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we started with figure drawings. There wasn't anything like, you know, like how you go to academy.
Mm.
There wasn't any specific. There all were just boring stuff. Generic teachers
Yeah.
who pretend to be, awesome, blah, blah, blah. Listen to me. I'm going to teach you that. But
Yeah.
after I finished illustration, my illustration classes were tough, especially my teacher who was grumpy all the time. I forgot my assignment one day, and everybody was doing their assignment in class, and I came without my assignment. So I was like, okay, no problem. I would just sit and watch, and the teacher was like, no, you can go home. And I was really disappointed, man. I was really good at what I'm doing. So
Yeah, of course.
from there, I learned, I realized that I didn't really need anybody in my life, like especially teacher. And that only happens when you realize that you have the talent all along.
Mm,
Because when you grow up as a kid, you never stop drawing.
mm,
Whether you are drawn badly, ugly, beautiful, crap, whatever,
mm,
you still gotta do what you do because giving up is not an option.
mm,
So that's how I started. And I didn't have any really teacher to do me stuff. I had
mm,
just books. So,
mm.
I read art books. You had the internet.
Mm,
So I would say I am self-taught artist. I didn't really have really much of an academic profile background.
mm,
But you can say I had like key programs like that played a factor to my academic drawing. But this is going for everybody. If you want to go to academy, go for it. You don't have to be like me sitting behind a computer watching video tutorial reading a lot because that's taking a lot of commitment and time. You have no life at all.
mm, mm.
But being a self-taught artist comes with a lot of sacrifices.
Mm, that's for sure.
I mean, if you are a parent,
Mm,
let's assume you are a dad or mother or something.
mm,
You have like a second job or a third job to pay the rent, the bills, electricity, or stuff. You barely have time on your side.
yeah.
But I will tell you one thing. Um, Practice, time is always on your side. And
Mm,
I'm saying this always. So if you want to get better, you really should focus on your practice, not to become better than others. There is a lot of students coming up to me. They are saying they are kind of depressed
mm.
because they believe they will not get better than me or than any other artist. I'm not going to talk about me.
Yeah.
I think you should focus more on encouraging others to become better. I think.
Mm.
Does that make any sense?
Yeah, yeah, totally.
Because there is usually people that they are looking inside the lens of the other successes,
Mm,
how good they, but they don't know what it took them to become this better person artist.
mm.
But anyway, back to me. Uh, for me, it's been a tough road. I mean, even when
Mm,
I think I'm great, I
mm,
still have my own demons like depression. I
mm,
have other stuff. I'm partially deaf. That's why I can't make videos often.
mm,
Yeah,
mm.
my work is great. My life not so much.
Yeah.
So yeah, let me jump into basic specifics.
Mm,
Books have been great teachers in my life,
mm,
especially literature, because
mm,
I learned to be an illustrator before a fine artist.
mm.
So when somebody's asking me, do you draw this from reference or do you draw mentally? So what I think he meant is by imagination.
Yeah.
So I do both.
Mm,
So reference is helping me to visualize the concept, how a figure is visualized, how it's like a figure drawn, but you have a reference.
yeah.
But if you practice over time, you realize you don't need the reference anymore.
Mm,
I mean, you can find any kind of many of them are Pinterest, whatever. But
Yeah, yeah,
um, is there a specific you like to ask me about
yeah,
books or my last
yeah. I know you're a
philosophy?
big I know you're a big fan of Dostoevsky, aren't you? Because
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I've seen you draw. What was the one with Kalsnikov, or what was it from Crime and Punishment with the
Crime and
axe?
Punishment. Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah,
I did a really big.
yeah.
Yeah, it was. That was a great time to draw because I
Mm,
just finished the book, and I felt because only I related to the character
mm.
Raskolnikov, who is the protagonist. I'm not going to spoil the book if you're
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
interested
yeah.
to
Of
read it.
course.
Go read it. I liked it because I'm coming from a Caucasus, Caucasian background. How do you call it? My parents were born in Georgia, but they have studied Russian literature, so that's where I come from. But I'm Greek artist. I am not Russian. Many people mistake me because my last name is Fenerov, but I'm not Russian. I just have really a big interest in literature,
Mm,
Russian,
mm.
and that's what pushed me to my limit. Because if you follow the trends, which is important for artists, you have Inktober, you have Bookstagram, you have a lot of challenges you should
Yeah,
join because this is a challenge to become better. It's making you think outside of the box,
mm.
that you are not doing things that you are only comfortable doing with. So when I'm drawing something that I'm not used to, I'm usually scared, believe me. There is always a 50% chance that I'm going to mess things up,
Yeah, of
like I
course.
did like my previous live stream last year.
Mm,
But at the end of that, I did great.
mm,
So I'm grateful for that lesson. So
mm. Turned it around.
I'm trying my best, man.
Yeah, yeah,
I
for
think a
sure.
lot of artists are, anxious. How do you say that? Prejudiced
Right.
because they don't believe too much in themselves.
Yeah, yeah.
They believe everything should happen fast. I'm going to be 24. When I started as an artist, I was like 15.
Me too.
It wasn't too long ago. How
Yeah.
old are you?
I'm 23. I'll be 24 soon. Yeah.
Oh, high five.
Yeah, man.
uh, yeah, I think most artists begin the breakdown as an artist
Mm,
around when I started, like at 15, 16, when they finish high school.
mm.
And when they do, they don't know what to do after.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So this is my advice. Before you go in an academy,
Mm,
just read books.
mm.
Who knows? Because you are going to waste like 4,000 in tuition fees for
Yeah.
something that you probably always have known
Mm,
from before. So it will be like waste of time
mm.
because that's what I learned when I finished university. And
Yeah. Leaves you with a lot
that's
of
it.
debt, doesn't it?
Mhm.
It's not a good place to start off. Hey, you just come in there. Yeah, you spend like 3, 4 years and you leave with like 70 grand of debt. You're like, oh, nice. Now I've got to start life with all this over my head.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Because let's say at the first year you are doing absolutely great,
Mm,
and as the year it's going on,
mm,
the grades are beginning to fall down, to go
mm.
down because you are getting bored. Same teach because at the universities and academy you have the same teachers,
All right. Yeah.
and especially if you are going to university, they are not really that. passionate.
Yeah.
You are bored as hell and you have no idea why you're even there.
Yeah.
So just read books, man. There is a book I recommend for charcoal portraits. There is one I would recommend. It's called by Nathan Fox, Charcoal Portrait. Do you know? It's great.
No, I don't. I don't think I know that one. Charcoal portraits by who?
Nathan Fox.
I'm not sure. I know that one.
Yeah,
Is it a good one?
a real good one. Yeah,
I'll
but
look that one up.
you don't have to follow the same approach Nathan does.
Mm.
I learned to be on my own, like instead of graphite, I went with charcoal and vice versa.
Mm.
So I wouldn't say I have discovered my style yet because this is still an ongoing project.
Mm.
I am not Picasso yet,
Mm.
but do check out the book.
Yeah. So yeah, you said in the beginning your art's going great, but your life isn't going so great. You is the art kind of something that and books as well, obviously. Is that something that you've always sort of lent on? Is that something that's always been there to sort of be your strength in life? Has that always been something that
You
why
mean
you've
like inspiration,
yeah,
motivation,
yeah,
something
yeah,
like that? Yeah,
yeah.
and not just books, man.
Mm,
Sometimes it's great to do something outside of art
yeah,
because
yeah.
this is what I learned as a like full-time artist.
Mm,
This is something you do all the time. You barely get sleep. You are dehydrated. You forget to eat. You get
yeah,
skinny.
yeah,
These really have really they are going to affect your health.
mm,
So for me, I have insomnia, barely sleep because I'm used to practice during nighttime, like right now.
right, right.
And that's because everybody's asleep and I can work on my own just without any intervention.
Yeah,
Somebody knocking on my
yeah.
door. And yeah, that's been a great teacher. Another thing, I said it's great to do things outside.
Mm,
Go to the gym.
yeah, 100%.
I mean, because this goes for you, my buddy. I don't exercise.
Oh, you don't exercise?
No,
Not at
I
all?
exercise my eyes because I'm reading too much.
Uh,
Yeah, but it's great. But sometimes I'm going out walking
mm,
just to get my head out to
yeah,
it.
yeah.
So, and I also like video games.
Yeah, yeah. So,
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah,
got like the Uncharted, Nathan Drake.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
This room this is both my bedroom and my art studio.
yeah, yeah,
I have everything I need here. The kitchen is right in front of me anyway. So when this is like my ideal lifestyle right now because I don't have to move to another room like an art studio.
mm,
So has been really easy, and that's it.
mm, yeah,
About video games, it's great.
yeah,
Books, video games, they are both great.
yeah, yeah.
Somebody will approach this differently, but this is what works for me.
Yeah, man. The whole sort of I guess, like you're saying, it does get pretty crazy. You lose sleep, you forget to eat, you forget to drink
Yeah,
water. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean, man. I was similar in respects where, here in Australia, we don't really have too many ateliers or places that you can go to learn like representational art. There's not really
yeah,
much, if that. And so I had to learn a lot from like books and online and stuff like that. I have to just grab whatever I could and just continually like press replay on that like 1 minute video and see what they did. I was like, what? Hang on, go back, sort of thing. Just replay that over and over again, trying to like find out how they did it, and then just time and time again of just like practicing and practicing it over and over again. It's kind of this, yeah. So I have the same sort of background in that respect, for sure, for sure. In terms of following, like being I s- I get what you mean with the graphic designer sort of gig. Yeah, it's not that crash hard of a gig. Hey, because there was a time in my life when I was younger where I thought, oh, graphic design would be pretty cool. But I kind of looked into it. I saw people doing it, and I was like, that looks crap. That does not look like fun. Yeah, that's why I too went the whole like fine art sort of route in that as well. And so your art kind of consists of like the graphite, the charcoal sort of thing. You do oil paints and stuff though, don't you?
Mm,
Yeah. It was
absolutely.
is yeah. Is there a particular reason why you sort of go towards the graphite charcoal sort of route more than the oil paints, or is it just the way that Instagram sort of flows for you?
Sure is what I have to say.
Mm,
Both mediums are really perfect.
mm,
So my own philosophy is that you should pick a medium that you believe that you are dominant with. So you, not that you are only comfortable with, but you are a master of it. Because when it comes to painting, you can apply your graphite and charcoal application
yeah.
onto canvas as well, and you have really flexible blockings, and then and from there you are going to be doing great.
Mm,
But this is a topic of approach, because when I'm painting, I usually pick my color pencils. I usually pick a red pencil for the anti-drawing
mm,
and the redrawing.
mm,
Um, and then I just prime it on the top so I'm protecting my drawing.
mm,
And then I start painting. It's easy. For me, it's easy. Great. Maybe for others, maybe not.
mm.
But you should pick a pencil medium that you believe you are most dominant with, because
Yeah.
like in 10 years or 5, you're going to be doing porter class demos, and you will be asked to do charcoal or graphite drawing.
Mm.
You are not going to draw with a brush.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying you should even. Okay, I like charcoal most, but I
Yeah.
draw with graphite mostly because it's quick.
Yeah. Mm.
So you should have a schedule. Charcoal takes more time than graphite does. Graphite is great for practice because it's easy, it's quick, it's maintainable.
Mm.
You don't screw up as much as charcoal does to you.
More forgiving.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah.
what else? Painting.
Yeah.
I don't do much painting like I used to before,
Mm-hmm.
like I did before.
Yeah.
That's because my space room is also playing a role because it's small
Mm.
and all smell badly, and I
Yeah.
really don't want to use
That's where you sleep
face
too.
mask. Yeah,
You definitely
it's
don't want
getting
that.
nauseous.
Yeah.
And also the light in my room is not really
Yeah.
flexible.
Right. Yeah. I get that. Yeah.
So you will imagine how much is going on right now in my life, because I'm I'm really limited.
Yeah.
So if I have to make more videos, I need a better lighting. I need more
Mm.
space.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
we are all starving artists by nature.
Yeah.
Starving artists.
Yeah. 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 Is that because a lot of people sort of go for that that sort of starving artist lifestyle for like one of two reasons. One, because they sort of believe in it, and the other one because they're like not quite where they want to be yet. They're in that transitional sort of thing, like they're on their way, right?
Yeah.
Do you really believe in like the starving artist sort of like mindset that you have to give everything for your work? Or are you just, this is just a transitional sort of spot for you where you're like, this is just a little period of your life where you're on your way?
I think in the middle, because
Mm-hmm.
when you are the only artist from your family,
Mm.
you don't have like support from them. Even if you go to your mother and you show, hey mom, I did this portrait.
Yeah.
How is she? She's going to say, oh honey, it's perfect. But you know she's lying because she has no idea from drawing,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
to make you feel better. But when you are going to sacrifice everything you
Mm,
have to commit to it.
mm,
You have to do your own income,
mm,
either from selling your artwork, commissions,
mm,
exhibition,
mm.
and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Um, this is totally on you. This is not like a transition. This is how you can become depressed
Yeah.
because there is no, I don't know how to say it, there is no
Mm,
like a phase where you believe it's going to become better,
mm,
your lifestyle.
mm,
And the concept of starving artists, I will say it's true,
mm.
but depends on you.
Yeah.
Because there are people who are coming from families that are full of artists,
Mm,
and they are like prepared. They know this from before. They are really comfortable. They know the
mm,
basics, and from there they can go as they wish. On the other side, when we are alone, we don't have too much on our plate. That's how I am self-taught. I didn't have anybody low
yeah.
to guide me or something.
Yeah. There's no like easy sort of set out path that you can just follow in the footsteps of, right?
Mm,
You kind of gotta like get out the machete and start like carving your own sort of path, so to speak.
yeah,
Yeah.
but let me say something really positive
Mm,
from when I was in university, when I did graphic design. If you're going for graphic design, you can become a fan artist as well when you finish. Because I learned a lot about printmaking, layout, design. So yeah, I'm really familiar with paper types, sizes, and stuff like that. So I can really, so when I'm drawing on books, I'm really prepared. I know from the months of graphic design, I know what I'm doing,
mm,
what I should prepare because of the typeset. You have the margins, you know where the drawing is going to be. And I do that by opening Photoshop, scanning the book, and scanning the drawing as well, and put them all in Photoshop, and then I visualize it. How is it going to look before I'm drawing actually on the book? And I'm really sad. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
Even graphic designers who want to be fine artists have advantages and vice versa.
Mm,
This is my approach when I'm drawing to books
yeah.
or anything.
Mm, yeah. Yeah. The benefits of branching out. You never know when something's gonna help your own practice, right? Like,
Yeah,
yeah, that's why like people say if you read a book and you only get one thing from it, the book was worth more than worthwhile,
mm,
just to get that one thing from it, that you learned that one thing. There's that story you took away from just one thing you learned. It's all worthwhile. So the same thing applies for life, right? Like we
yeah,
try a different bunch of different things. We might only learn a handful of things, right? We not the rest might be junk, we might not even benefit from it, it might be crap, useless. But the one thing that we learn, we can apply to like we can take it on and makes it stronger. So it's always worthwhile, hey, to sort of branch out, try a whole bunch of different
yeah,
sort of
yeah.
things. Yeah, I get what you mean for
Absolutely.
sure, for sure. So with in terms of like your art, man, is it are you exhibiting these works in the books? Are you like taking them out of the books, or are you exhibiting the books on display anywhere, or are they kind of just for like Instagram sort of thing? Are you doing anything with them?
No,
Nah.
no, I did the exhibition recently in Moscow.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
nice.
art life, not life, and doesn't scan of my books
Mm,
because my books are really small. But
yeah,
they told me they want the actual size. Not, I could scan my book into
yeah,
high quality, you print it out,
yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
But they prefer the actual size, so I sent
Okay.
a scan of the actual size.
Hmm.
But I also said mostly my works that are inspired from great works of literature. So it was like only literary inspired artwork. It wasn't like something random.
Mm,
Every night and it was related to books.
mm.
There was also last year I kind of flash mobbed a bookshop. You know what is a flash mob?
Oh, you flash mobbed like dancing.
Yeah, when you start. No, I wish I could that, but no. I went to a bookshop and I was commissioned to draw inside
Uh,
the books that they were on sale. So I kind of they want me to surprise them.
right.
And that was in the that town of Nicosia. It was a bookshop, small one, but it's famous, Nicosia, Cyprus. And that was a great one. Yeah, I just drew, put my hashtag, my handle name on Instagram, follow me for more. And that's how I grew up there.
Nice. That's
Yeah,
sick. That's a really great idea. I feel like if I tried that, people would just get angry at me. They're like, "What are you doing to our books?"
it depends if you are. I mean, everybody could do that in books,
Mm,
but beware of Karen because
mm,
they are, boomers. Boomers,
right.
how they react.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there are.
The
You should
Karens. Yeah.
always, you should always think of your audience. There are people who like seeing you drawing books, and there are people who, who are kind of mean.
Yeah. Yeah.
But who knows? Just do it, man.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I bet. Yeah. I think it is. It comes hand in hand with getting more popular. Hey, right? So you get like a lot more love, but then you also start to get a lot more people that just I don't know what they do with their lives, but they just come in, they go like, you're pretty shit at art, man. I hate your work. You're like, what? Why are you telling me this? And that's all they want to say to you, and they sort of just say it, they drop it on you, and they leave. Man, I don't understand where these people come from, what's going on in their heads, but they just pop out of nowhere sometimes. Hey,
I get what you mean. There
yeah,
is somebody always. You are a good artist, by the way.
me.
Cheers. Yeah.
Oh, thanks,
I
man.
saw your post on Instagram lately. Imagine, I don't know if that's happened to you already, but there is always that one person who says, I can't even draw a stick figure.
Oh,
This is what
yeah, yeah,
pisses me all the time.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
There is supposed to be a compliment, but it's becoming more like a stereotype right now.
yeah. I don't know. I don't know what it is with that. People, you know what it is? I was talking with another artist the other day, and I don't know how people got it into their heads, but um, people sort of believe that you're either born with it or you're not born with it, right? And they sort of yeah, exactly. They think that they can't learn it, right? But they'll look at people that play the piano, people that play the guitar, and they're like, "Oh, of course you can learn that, right?" But they
Hmm.
don't see that connection with art. They don't see that painting and drawing is something that we have learned over like multiple years, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a crazy thing that that separation between the two, where you can obviously see one is able to be learnt and the other one is apparently you're born with it and that's it.
Yeah, this is because most this is going to parents. I think most parents don't think that
Mm.
art is like an important job. You can't do a career.
Yeah.
So if you
Yeah.
go, hey dad, I want to become an artist, and she's going to say, an artist? What? Go to a doctor, be a musician or something like that, but they don't really appreciate the art the same way we do. And this is just their mindset. We can't do anything about them.
Yeah. 100%. 100%. Did you have any? Did your parents support it, or were they more like that? Were they more like, "What are you doing? Like, why are you pursuing this?"
Absolutely not. They wanted me to become a pharmacist, a
Mm.
doctor,
Mm-hmm.
and they wanted to become a dentist. That stuff that makes you money anyway.
Yeah.
And I did not,
Mm.
but I was going to be a dentist or something, pharmacist, because I was taking biology, those stuff
Yeah.
in back then. Then changed. You don't become artist because you want to impress women or you want to be, somebody in the center of the world.
Mm.
This is something because you are passionate about it, regardless how badly you suck.
Mm.
It is something you are not born with it. It is
Mm.
something that you grow into it.
Mm.
Nobody's born an artist or musician or something like that.
Mm.
And this is playing how parents support you or your friends how they support you plays a role
Yeah.
because if you have somebody who is supporting your craft, whoever that is,
Mm.
that's a great thing
Mm.
because you have somebody who cares. For me, nobody did at the beginning. There was sometimes a struggle.
Mm.
I had Instagram before.
Mm.
I deleted before because I deleted I think around 50,000 I think last year because social media is becoming distracting.
Mm.
You have you don't have too much time, so you see another artist. They keep drawing, and then you feel like you are stuck doing the same thing over and over again. But that's not how you should think.
Mm.
This is what I learned. You should not be given example by others' artistic lifestyles. How do I mean?
Mm.
I mean, if they are posting drawing like twice a day or more than that, you shouldn't be doing the same.
Mm.
And these people believe if the more they post, the more popular become. That's not how it works.
Mm.
A quality or over quantity, it's not true as well.
Mm.
I mean, it could be, but depends.
Mm. That's for sure.
You can do quick sketches that that are absolutely beautiful.
Mm.
You can do detailed, realistic drawing that are also beautiful. Depends how
Mm.
do you approach. So that was me, and
Yeah.
I learned to be, consistent only how people know me because I only I draw only like 2, 3 times a week.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Wow.
because those three are like final drawing. The other like a quick sketches, whatever.
Mm.
Because like I said before, I don't want to focus too much on art.
Mm.
I'm losing too much in my life right now, like
Mm.
my health.
Yeah.
This is great, by the way. This is how I think
Mm.
you evolve to become a great artist.
Mm. So So they because you're not focusing so much on art anymore. For now, what else? What else are you sort of using to sort of take your mind off of it? Sort of get back your life, so to speak, as opposed to just having just art. You doing anything in
Hmm.
particular to outside of that?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like I said before, video games, books.
Yeah.
You have also people who have studied you in a long time. If
Mm.
you are a full-time artist, you barely get out of your studio or your home. And they start believe you're kind of introvert or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Mm.
have a goal to go to the beach next summer because being an artist had prevented me from doing that.
Mm.
I mean, plein air painters have an advantage on that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good for them.
Do you ever try plein air painting, or no? It's not something you're
Yeah,
interested in.
absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, mountains, fields around here.
Mm.
There is no beach around close here.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Plein air painting something that I really enjoy myself, and just
I've
by
seen.
just by nature of where I live in Australia, we have like a beach every couple of meters. Like I can just walk to the beach, like no matter where I am. And the
Yeah.
good thing is about our beaches too, because we got so many of them, right? We there's barely anybody on them, right? Most of the time, there might be like one or
Mhm.
two other people, so you can just go there and just be by yourself, kind of relax a little bit, or go there and have your friends there, and you don't feel so like crowded by other people. You know what I mean? It's really nice. Yeah, yeah. So whenever you're over here, man, we should go to the beach.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
man.
like the opposite of that.
Yeah.
But it's great.
Mm. Yeah.
To your planner, I did the opposite. I'm mostly around crowds. I
Mm.
was
Mm.
before COVID, I think. I used to sketch people in the buses, during class, elsewhere, everywhere. I was practicing on my figure drawing. That was only for quick drawing in my sketchbook. So on my way to university, I was drawing people.
Mm.
That was a great exercise. I think you would say that was urban sketch.
Urban
The
sketching. Oh
urban
yeah,
sketch. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
For
all
sure,
of
man.
that is great. Planners, urban sketching, everything is great.
Mm.
You should do them all.
Yeah. It's kind of like drawing for painting, I think, because you know how drawing kind of sets you up, and the more you draw, it kind of translates into your painting, right? But the more you paint
Hmm.
on plein air and outside and stuff like that, that kind of translates back into the studio as well, back to the painting again, just for seeing these colors, being in the light, seeing these values with your own eyes and stuff, and
Hmm.
being outside and being in the presence of these things. There's a lot like drawing, but for the opposite end of the scale, how they come together for like the studio sort of paintings, or like for the studio works, right? And they sort of build up those things together. I kind of find that, anyways, when I'm doing my thing. Yeah,
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 it's great.
yeah. Is there um with your art, man? Because you're kind of grabbing back on your life, right? At the moment, trying to get back more of life. But is do you have this sort of I find most artists sort of have this idea or aspirations for their life and their trajectory they want to take. Do you kind of have that yourself? Like, is there a place that you want to take your art? Whether it's like a crazy dream you have for yourself, or even like somewhere you actually see this sort of path unfolding for
Yeah,
yourself. Do you have that for
as an
yourself?
artist, or
Yeah, as an artist, as a person, yeah, as a human
I
being.
mean, I would like to go to other countries. You
Mm,
know what I mean?
mm,
Because when you are used to your environment, to your country, you get bored
yeah.
drawing the same stuff over. And for me, I would like to go to France. There is a bookstore there called Shakespeare Co. It's a bookstore. Yeah, it's famous. It's famous also in movies. What I like about that bookstore is because I'm also an avid reader.
Yes.
I like to read. I like to draw, and I want to embody that in my work as much as possible to the maximum. And I think that certain bookstores or subjects will do that to me that more than I do right now.
Mm.
Because every year is, old fashioned.
No
I'm like
inspiration.
kind of bored. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I
You
get
get
what you
out
mean.
that in the open, in the much, you know, where culture is high.
Yeah, yeah, I get you. I get you. Yeah. Yeah, I find that artists kind of we do sort of longer we do it, the more the inspiration comes from us. But we still, from time to time, I find we need that external sort of energy to come to us. So whether that be like we go to another place or we put ourselves in another situation or an event or something like that. Yeah, I get totally what you mean. I'm getting bored of that's why I haven't plein air painted for a while. I'm getting bored of painting the same sort of beaches and like national parks and stuff. So
I
uh,
relate to that, man. I
yeah,
relate.
for sure. So I've been like in the studio trying to like uh, sort of take myself places. You know what I mean? Where I can't exactly get to right now, but I'm sort of just trying to sort of envision that and take myself to those places. Uh, when and I think that's probably the most. Um, it's probably one of the greatest things about being an artist because we can kind of take ourselves places. It's not only I think we don't only just do works just for other people to see, although social media kind of puts it on us for like other people and like, oh, I've got to do this because this is trending, got to do that. I think as artists, we're trying to do stuff that we really want to see, stuff that we really want to either want to be or want to places that we want to see, events that we want to see and happen and vision for ourselves or our lives and stuff. And I think when it comes down to it, us as artists sort of take ourselves these places first, and then other people that see it kind of come on the back of that just from happenstance. Really, I think it's just a byproduct that people enjoy our work. I think our work is foremost, for ourselves. It's like what you were saying in the beginning about how people sort of compare themselves, right? They compare themselves to you. They compare themselves to other artists. They go, "Oh, I'll never be like that. I'll never be like this." But I don't know if you've read Jordan Peterson's book, 12 Rules for Life, but he talks about comparing yourself to who you were yesterday, and that's the best comparison that we have. It's the comparison of
Mm.
ourselves, who we were yesterday, and I can't agree more with that, honestly. And that's kind of where I've always sort of taken it. I've always taken the way that I was working, say like a couple of weeks ago or a year ago. Look at my art from there, and I look at my art from like now, and I sort of compare that. I don't really find myself going on social media a lot and seeing other artists and being like, I wish I was like that, because I think luckily I've put myself in a mindset of, it's not about what they're doing, because I don't know their circumstances, I don't know their story, I don't know what's happening in their life, I don't know how long they've spent on their art, right? So I've just only been focusing on like myself and getting better from myself. Is that something that you find that you implement on yourself? Like you sort of focus on your yesterday sort of self, so to speak, compared to today. Is that kind of something that you do as well?
Absolutely, man. I love Jordan B. Peterson.
Mm,
People say to me I have unique style.
mm,
I don't think I would say it's unique, but if you look to my older works, I used to be doing a lot of realistic drawing. I would say it's in the middle of hyperrealism. Hyperrealism, yeah.
mm-hmm.
And people appreciate that more than I do, expression expressionist work.
Yeah.
Then that's because they appreciate more what's beautiful, what's detailed. Yeah, mostly beautiful women anyway. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, it's always that.
yeah, from Pinterest, models, skinny women, whatever, blah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's what most people try to achieve, happy realism.
Mm.
I don't know what for reason, but everyone to their own choice. Yeah, I try sometimes to, overcome my who I was be yesterday.
Mm.
So I have like maybe 5 styles.
Mm.
So only one style. That's what I was yesterday.
Mm.
And going on. Then you come to the end, fourth style. I want, I want to move beyond that. I
Mm.
want to forget there was ever a fourth. I want to go to five. I want to go to six. I
Mm.
think this concept is that you should evolve constantly.
Yeah,
You should
100%.
not be doing the same style every time. I mean, I draw on books like every time, but with different approaches.
Mm.
Like I don't do just pencil draw. I do oil paintings. And someday I will do, watercolor.
Mm.
I hope because it's tricky sometimes. Uh, this is what it means. You should take that challenge,
Mm.
even if you feel like it's going to be a failure. Believe me, I've been a failure lots of times. I
Mm.
mean, I post them on Instagram.
Mm.
I compare them, but not like over preference. Like I don't prefer either. This is how far I have become.
Mm.
And what did you say? There was this you said about fun.
About
Art
fun?
should be always. I am saying nothing.
Oh.
Art should be what you're doing should be for fun for you
Mm. Yeah.
because a lot of others people think that art should be always about them.
Mm.
This is because they think that they don't they don't appreciate what we do, like
Mm.
how much effort we put into it.
Mm.
Because especially
Mm.
what makes us happy, especially when we are drawing a particular piece. So I think people are still in at that stage where they are still appreciating happy realism
Mm.
more than anything else in the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes I'm still trying to understand, but who knows?
Yeah, it is what it is, honestly. Like, we can only really control, like, ourselves, right? We can only
Yeah,
really, we only have, like, a command over ourselves and our lives, and whatever people do, whatever people think, whatever people say is just, it's just external, It's, you gotta be, if you read, you probably read, like, Marcus Aurelius, like, Stoicism, stuff like that.
yeah,
Yeah, so he talks about being indifferent to what makes no difference, right? So we got to, it makes no difference to us what people say, what people do, what people think, you know. So
yeah,
the best course of action is being indifferent to that, you know, and
yeah, and,
because we've only, when I think about this all the time, like I've only got one life, as far as I know, I've only got one life, and uh, that's looking like a potential like 80, 90 years, right, down the pipeline. If you believe what scientists tell you, that's that's the span of our
no,
lives, right?
actually,
So it kind of, that sense of mortality really, why, if this is the only life I got, why am I wasting my energy, on like what other people are doing, what other people are saying, what other people want me to do, with parents, they want you to be a dentist, they want you to be whatever, stuff like that. But like why would I waste my life on something that I didn't want to do when it's my life and I've only got one of it, right? So yeah, I
Mm,
kind of
absolutely.
find myself uh, thinking about that quite often, and 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 it's kind of what I'm sort of basing my decisions around, right? And I think it's
Yeah,
to me, I think it's the only logical sort of way to base your decisions around is about what you want out of this life and how you wanna live your life. You know? Yeah.
yeah. Now that you mentioned that you are reading Stoicism,
Yeah.
I mean, that really helps. I mean, you
Mm.
see new perspective. There is one saying from Seneca.
Mm.
Do you know Seneca?
Yeah.
She's another Stoic.
Yeah.
She said the new beginning comes after some other beginnings, and
Mm. Mm.
so you really should start doing something new. I think that people should read more, in my
Mm.
opinion, than draw.
100%.
Because they tell you where do you get inspiration from, and when you say books they won't understand because all they see this is the cover of the book.
Mm.
They don't know what's inside, because when you read a book you come across a favorite chapter
Mm.
that you want maybe to illustrate, you want to draw on, you get a lot of new ideas. It's
Mm.
not just portrait, it could be anything about it depending from the angle you see it on from.
Mm.
So, that's what David Copperfield did to me, by Charles Dickens,
Mm.
my favorite author.
Mm.
Really, they teach you a lot of life lessons.
Mm.
When I say read books, I don't mean you just art books. I mean,
Yeah.
you know what I mean,
Yeah, I know exactly
literature,
what you
then
mean.
you
Like Dostoevsky, Charles Dickens. I get it, man. 100%.
well, you don't have to go depressing as
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Dostoevsky. You can
Yeah, there's
go
fun books
Tolstoy,
too.
you can go,
Yeah.
I don't know. I
Yeah.
went Dostoevsky, Kafka, those are dark.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm in the dark place.
Mm.
People associate my drawings with moody, depressed, and yeah, that's what I'm showing.
There is
Uh,
happiness. There is happiness in books, and there are really happy books with happy endings that can give you a
yeah,
lot
really.
too. Life
Yeah,
doesn't
listen
have
to
to
it.
be
Yeah.
so serious all the time. That's for sure. I mean,
Do you
if
have a
y-
favorite book?
pardon?
Do you have any favorite book?
Oh man, yeah. What would be like? Oh my. Well, Crime and Punishment. I think was always like a really when I read that when I first read that, it's like a striking book that really stays with you. So I think that's always like whenever people ask me about a book and stuff, like it kind of that's always like it's had the biggest
Yeah,
impact because if you've read you read the story and stuff
it's
like that,
philosophical.
there's you take so much from it, right?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but in terms of fun books, in terms of fun
Uh,
books, if you've ever read Terry Pratchett,
yeah, absolutely.
yeah, his Discworld series, yeah, man, oh man,
I did
those
like three paintings, I think, based on it. Yeah,
yeah, those books, man, I love those books so much, like the whole death, uh, uh,
the
Rincewind,
apocalypse.
the witches, the Night Watch, all those stories set inside this disc on top of these elephants on top of a turtle. Uh, that series, man. If people are listening, if you're ever looking for a big source of inspiration and fun and really captivating stories, and the way that he writes is so captivating.
Yeah,
Discworld series. People look at the series and they go, "There's like 50 books. I'm not reading that." But I'm like, "No, you got it. You got it." It's such an incredible series. Like I could pick up any one of those books and I know I'm gonna enjoy it. I just know. You know what I mean? Even though I've read
yeah.
all of them, I think.
I
But
think, yeah, what you mean is when people don't prefer to read a book, they prefer, the TV adaptation
mm,
instead. So there was this TV show that came not too long ago. It was Good Omens.
Yeah.
Do you know Good Omens? It's the book by Neil
Oh,
Gaiman
Good
and
Omens.
Terry
Good
Pratchett.
Omens.
Yeah.
Oh
Do you
yes,
know
yes,
it?
yes, yes. Sorry, I thought you said something
Sorry
else.
for my accent. It is my
No,
accent.
yeah, yeah,
Is
yeah. Good Omens.
so
Yes,
it's the
I haven't
European
seen the
anyway.
TV show though. How was?
Yeah, yeah, it was great, but I think people will still choose the show over the book.
Yeah,
The book has more content than the TV show does. It
of
is
course.
like, a kind of Harry Potter movie
Hmm.
where people feel like they've watched all the movies, but they haven't read the books.
Yeah,
So they miss like, a five, a four from 10, the adventures.
yeah. They no matter how good the movie is, it always leaves out so much of a book, right? Like
Yeah,
people go like, "Oh, I've seen the Lord of the Rings. I don't need to read the Lord of the Rings." But I'm like, no, like the movies, even though they're so long and they're really in depth and they're great movies, they do leave out quite a lot. They leave out quite a lot. You know what I mean? Like even I don't think there's any way a movie could be one for one like a book, right? Even a TV show, it can't be really one for one. I've never read Game of Thrones. Oh no, I've read the first one. I didn't
shame on
really.
you.
I read the first one. I didn't really like it. So that was years ago, though. That was years ago. So this was before the TV show. That was before that. I didn't really. It wasn't. I wasn't really captivated by it. Don't shoot me. But I
No,
never got around to seeing this show. But from what I've heard is that it did a pretty good job. I don't know if you've seen the show, read the books like that. It did a pretty good job up until certain seasons when it surpassed the book. So
yeah,
I guess like in that respect, a TV series could kind of like get you on there, but even still, like the best sort of adaptations are never quite like the books, right? You
mhm,
There's something about uh, opening the pages, seeing the words, and translating the words in your mind, right? And you kind of this back and forth with the words and how they come through your head and your filters inside your mind that are totally devoid of like special effects or the way the actors are presenting them. You're putting yourself into it, right? You're reading it
mhm,
as yourself. You're putting yourself in those situations and you read it how you would read it, right? You put your little quirks in it and you see it how you would see it, right? And not only that, you take the lessons from it, how you take the lessons from it, not how it's portrayed, right, in like a movie or something. And I think that's what people really miss. They really miss that about books. They think I've seen the movie, whatever, but you don't understand that the movie presented it in such a way that you did it in that such a way, right?
yeah,
That you
absolutely.
took it in such a way. But I think it's probably just back to social media and like just constantly swiping and having like a 3 second attention span sort of shit. Yeah, people
Yeah,
are just like, I can't sit down and read a book. But even on that, like if you break it down, like a 500-page book is really on like 12 hours of reading, right? So
yeah,
like, yeah, if that, right? Like, if you break it down to like you've only got 12 hours to read it, that's like a week. If you spaced it out, you know, like,
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I will suggest doing a solid 6 hours reading a
Mm,
week at least, the most. Anyway,
mm,
I read whenever I can. I'm not reading all the time. I'm not Einstein or something like that. So what you said is true. The books aren't portrayed the same way movie do. So this is what people do when it comes to fan art.
mm,
So let's say you see somebody did a fan art of Game of Thrones. They did that because they watched the show. They did not read the book. So you have like two communities: those who read the book and those who didn't.
yeah.
So imagine, it's kind of it's paradoxical. I mean,
Mm,
a reader doesn't know a movie. how do you say, a watcher.
A viewer or something like that. Yeah. Yeah,
A
watcher.
watcher is
Yeah.
a watcher is not a watcher.
Yeah, yeah.
So a viewer doesn't have the same mindset a reader does. So a
Mm,
reader pictures differently the scene
mm,
and maybe even more accurate than the show did, like you said.
yeah.
So this is what I did with my Dracula book drawing, with my Dostoevsky drawing. There
Yeah.
wasn't any show of that. Those are like kind of rare
Mm.
books because people view them as boring. Because those books are, from high school. They were like
Yeah.
required reading.
Right. Yeah.
Nobody had the time to read.
Yeah.
But lucky for me, I read from interest from a young age from my grandfather,
Mm.
who was Russian, had a big library of books.
Wow. Nice.
And this is what also played a factor to my, picking books as mediums for my work. So yeah, I think books you should read.
People need to read more. That's for sure. That's for sure.
Yeah,
And then
exactly.
it the also on that, just to say something, the way that sort of movies or like even video games present themselves,
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
all they're all they're all they're all visual, right? But with a
Mm-hmm.
book, it sort of lends itself for you to create the visuals. So as
Mm-hmm.
artists, it sparks our creativity more so than like watching a good movie or watching or playing a good video game, right? Does. And I do find that reading like books, especially especially Terry Pratchett series, because it's so like crazy, or there's always something happening and you're like, oh wow, yeah, I can see that in my head. It just, stuff like that happens, and you can really visualize it and you can see it inside your own head. And I think that lends really, really, really well to painting, to our practice. I think, yeah, for sure, for sure. I think that's a good place to end it. What do you think, John?
Well, let me give an example. I
Yeah.
mean, from the video game, you had
Mm.
the movie Assassin's Creed, the movie,
Oh yeah, yeah.
which sucked badly. But the same with the same way you have readers and the viewers,
Mm,
you have also the gamers who actually play the game, and
yeah,
also
good
the
point.
viewers. The viewers for sure they are on and don't see the same way others do. Like gamers, readers, loyal people, stuff like that. They know the real deal. That's why I find myself tortured between books and video games. I don't know what else I could be describing myself as. It is just me.
Yeah, I get you.
Okay, dude.
The Assassin's Creed is a good example. Yeah,
Great talk, man. Great talk.
the games are an incredible story. The movie,
Is that a Muppet you have?
the map.
The
Oh,
Muppet.
Muppet. Yeah, yeah.
I
Remember the
was
frog?
surprised. Is this your model? Yeah.
I don't know. I had that from my mum went to New York and she came back and she's like, I didn't know what to get you, but it was like her first trip, really. So it's like her first fun trip. She's like, I didn't know what to get you, but I saw this. And I was like, thanks. Yeah.
Alright, man.
Oh, it was good. It's good. So I keep
You're
it up there.
good.
It's nice. I think I've painted it once or twice. Yeah, man. Well, John, thank you so much for coming on, man. I really appreciate it. You're somebody that I've followed for quite a while now, and somebody who, no matter what it is you're putting up, I'm always inspired. I'm always in love with what you're putting up and what you're putting out there, man. Truly, and like I feel like I look at your works and I really resonate with them, man. And I think a lot of people feel that way too. Honestly, with your works, like people really, they'll see them and they'll really resonate with them. In a world that we're so quickly scrolling through Instagram, whenever I see your work, it really makes me stop. Makes me stop the whole social media sort of crap, and really take it in. And I think that's something special, and that's definitely something to be said about your work. Is that it's really, it really resonates with me, man. And I really appreciate you putting it out there, and I really appreciate you sticking it through and becoming the artist that you are, man. Even though I know that it's not a fun job to have. It's not a fun person to be at the best of times. But I think out of everything in life, it's definitely one of the most rewarding things. I think that's what that's what can be said about art and artists alike, is that art is definitely one of the most rewarding things you can do in life, right? Just to create and put what it is that you feel and see, and translate what it is you see inside your own mind out through your hands and then through a medium. I think that's something really special. I think that you capture that really incredibly, man. So thank you so much for coming on, man. I really appreciate it.
Stop making me blush, man.
Thanks, John, man.
I appreciate your word, man. Thanks a lot for your kind word. I had fun talking to you. And pardon me for my accent, though.
No, it's been good, man. It's been good. Thank you. Right, that was it. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I really appreciate you all from tuning in and listening in. I hope you all were able to take quite a lot away from what John had to say here today. And if you like this episode, please hit subscribe on YouTube, hit the like, hit the comment over on YouTube if you're watching the video part of this interview, or if you're listening to here on Spotify or a number of other streaming platforms, please hit the follow button and leave us a review. I appreciate you guys. And I'll catch you all in the next episode. Catch ya. Bye.